Hello, my friends. How are you all doing? This is Angie Stewart from Mia InnerLight, live in Kardec Radio. Today, it's a very special day. I'm super excited. I hope you guys can hear me. Please, if someone can just write down, you can hear me fine. Let me also check my phone because you never know things that happen. Oh, okay, so I hear myself, so it's working. Exciting. Okay, so we are super excited because today is a new chapter for our online study. It will continue Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, but now we are starting a new book. Woo-hoo! This is our new book. What is Spiritism? So we'll be studying this book for 40 minutes. And after the 40 minutes, we will have 20 minutes of the other side, the gospel according to Spiritism. But as I mentioned before, we will have a new format. So now we will have our friends with us. We will have Teresa and we will have Nora with us. So, guys, this is Teresa Castro and Nora Brazil, and we will be commenting the gospel according to Spiritism in the second part. So please stay with us. It will be much more exciting than just me in a monologue. And I really would love to have your participation. I'm not on Facebook or on YouTube, so I cannot see who is watching. So please just write something so I will be able to see your name and say hello. Okay, this is exciting. So I already see few friends joining us. I see Claudia Nunes, Mark Carlos. Hello, Mark. Hello, Saul. This is awesome to have you guys here. Thank you so much. I think the sound is working. So, as I always like to say, if you like, please put a bottle of water. So, at the end, the enlightened spirits, they will bless it with our medication for the week. So, at this moment, let's just calm down a little bit and do our initial prayer, and then we can start. Dear God, thank you so much for being with us another night. We have been together for over 2 years, studying among brothers of other lands. This beautiful book that ended last week. Today we start a new chapter with the new book, What is Spiritism, with our two guests on a weekly basis. And we all would like to ask your protection, your positive energy, your love to help, inspire, and guide all of us. Not only us that will be talking, but also our friends that will be listening via Kardec Radio, via Mia InnerLight, live, or the recording version. Thank you so much. So be it. Awesome. So, guys, if you follow our group here, you already know Teresa and you already know Nora because both of them had been here when we were doing our prayers, our final prayer. So both of them were our guests. I don't know why our names are not showing, but it should. So you can see the blonde one is Teresa and the brunette one is Nora. So,
Hey guys.
so very nice having you both girls. It's really a blessing. I think the dynamic of the study will be much more exciting to the ones that always see us, but also to the new people that will be joining. So I will see you at 9:40, and please send me a reminder because I'm horrible with time. So we can be punctual, at least on the first night.
Okay.
In a few minutes, okay?
See you shortly.
Bye. Awesome. So if you're new here, and you just arrived, I just mentioned this is our new book for the day. For the day, who knows how long it will take us to study the full book, but this will be our full book. What is Spiritism? This book is a beauty. It gives us lots and lots of information to the people who are new to Spiritism, but also to people that already know Spiritism very well, but needs a little boost of how we can deal with people that do not understand, people that are against it, or even people that are really curious and they would like to know a little bit more about it. So if you have the book, the book starts with a biography of Allan Kardec. And this biography is very deep, lots and lots of details. Is really, and is very long. But the funny thing is that they write here that the biography is actually a summary of the real biography. So just to let you know, the little biography has 46 pages. That's the short biography of Allan Kardec. So instead of going straight to the biography of Kardec, I will do a summary that I hope it will be a little quick about what is Spiritism in general, like how Spiritism started. And then I think it will be like interesting for you guys to see, even if you already know, it will be a refresh, because it really started in the United States of America. It starts in New York State, in Hydesville. So I will give you these details. Then we are going to talk how it ended up going to France, and then it ended up going to Brazil, and then it, boom, spread all over the world. And then next week, we can go through the biography of Kardec, and probably I will use some of the slides to make it more interesting for all of you. And I have to say thank you to Claudia Nunes, because she's the one who actually suggested, and I think it's a great suggestion, because you guys see my face all the time. It's like, oh, I would be tired too. So let's go. I hope it will work. I always have issues with sharing this PowerPoint. So let's try. And I will follow it here. I will follow it on my phone to see if it's working. Okay, is it working? I think it is. Let me see. Yes, it's working. Very good. So I will, just to let you know, I cannot see anything that you guys are writing anymore, because now I'm actually looking to the full screen PowerPoint presentations, and I only can see my little tiny picture on my phone. So I can't see anything that you write. But as soon as I finish, or I will give some few breaks, and I will be able to see if there are any comments. Actually, Claudia is trying to write me quick things so I can see whatever you guys are talking about. But let's try to make it quick. The history of Spiritism is something long, full of details. So it's not that you can just say in 10, 20 minutes what it is. Now is 9 9, 10, but it's just to give you some brief understanding. As you can see, this is the picture of Kardec, and these are the 5 books of decodification. So Kardec did not invent Spiritism, he codified Spiritism. He was able to get through many, many mediums, hundreds of mediums from all over the world, answers to his questions. And then he was able to codify this little by little, separating important titles, and he started creating. And the books, they were organized in this order. The first book was a spirits book, mediums book, gospel, heaven and hell, and finally Genesis. So let's go through the history. So here you see the Fox sisters. So the Fox sisters were these girls. They were actually 3 girls. Here we see 2. Here we see Kate and Margaret, but they were 3 sisters. And the older sister was not a medium, but in the end, she worked more or less like their manager, because they became so extremely popular that they started traveling all over the place, spreading the good news that now they could talk to the dead. So this was like a big, big thing. So here you see pictures of the girls, and this is the tiny little house they lived in Hydesville, New York. Is all the way in the north. So here you see a real picture of the house of the Fox family in the 1847. So imagine how simple is this little house. The whole family lived there, wife, husband, and the 3 kids. So it's not really like nowadays people sometimes live in really gigantic houses. They have to change, to exchange WhatsApp messages to talk to each other. But in this time, no, it still was very, very simple. So here the sentence is written: spiritualism originated in March 31st, 1848 in this house. Spiritualism is older than Spiritism. Spiritism is like a branch of spiritualism. So spiritualism is the big one, and then we have many other how can you say, many other arms to this body. And as you know, Spiritism was born much, much later. So let's continue. If you have any questions, you can just write it there, and then I will, when I stop, I will read, and then we can comment, we can talk. But I'm sure Teresa and Nora and even Claudia can write and answer your questions live, because I'm not able to access your questions now. So here we see Hydesville, Wayne County, New York. So it's mentioning that the night of the 28th of March, these knocks start being heard through the walls. So the family was calm, doing whatever they were doing, and suddenly they start hearing these knocks. The little girls start paying attention. They were young, and they start like, what is it, what is it? Long story short, uh, the younger girl mentioned in a loud voice that if this was I don't even know if that was like this, but I just know that she mentioned something like this: okay, if you're understanding me, you do knock once to yes and twice to no. And that's how it started. So here says also John Fox large cabin. That's where they lived. So the 9-year-old Kate and the 12-year-old Margaret run to their parents' bedroom, frightened by the loud knocks from, let me close this thing here, from the walls and and the ceiling in their room. So this is interesting. The two mediums were very, very young, 9 and 12. 9 and 12. This is why also there was more credibility, because usually kids, younger kids, they don't really lie a lot about this type of things. Like if it was an older person, people have more reticence, more like, I don't really believe it, because older people, yes, they can lie about a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So let's continue. So it's talking about the reps and the sounds, and everything was moving around. So 3 days later, little Kate, so let's see, Kate is the 12. No, Kate is the 9. Kate is the 9 years old. So little Kate, 9 years old, who had grown accustomed to the noise, started to imitate the knocks by drumming on a piece of furniture. So this is how she started, like trying to make a communication, but almost like within her imagination, not really believing she could communicate, like a kid would be doing, like playing. But then the stranger knocks were heard in equal numbers, and it stopped when the girl stopped. So the knocks were imitating her knocks, and this called attention. She was like, "Whoa! Oh, I'm seeing you guys can see the slides. This is great." So continue. A friend of the family, Mr. Dusler, thought of using an alphabet to translate the knocks and understands the invisible entity was saying. So this is interesting. This is a little bit even deeper than what we actually know. And here says that the invisible knocker spirit was named Charles Rosma, and he had been a traveling salesman who stayed in the house when this house was owned by another family. They were called Bell, and he was murdered in the house, and everything he was selling they took from him. They stole his things, and his corpse was buried in the basement in an effort to hide evidence of his murder. So this is like an investigation story. This is like the typical ghost story. Halloween is coming, but the amazing thing is that this is a real story. This is not a Halloween joke to tell the people to get afraid of something that never happened. This is really true. This is the point that's so interesting. So here in this new picture, you see the Fox sisters, they were under a lot of pressure. And the church excommunicated them for making covenants with the devil. So imagine the situation. In the 1800s, America, that was very strict. They had lots of issues with religious persecutions in England and in other countries where they came, they immigrated here. So anything that's related to religion was something like not really seen with good eyes, not even related to religions, but anything that might not be according to their new dogmas, to their new beliefs, to the new religion they were following, wouldn't be seen with good eyes. And it would be bad, not just for the little girls, but to the whole family, to the mother and father who are allowing this to happen. So imagine, put yourself in their shoes and imagine this situation happening in the 1800s. Imagine it's happening right now. Right now, this would be a big thing. People would be accusing anyone of being imposters, liars, mystificators, that you are trying to make money some way. and would be a lot of pressure through you and through your whole family. And we are in the 2020, everything, science is so developed, but you still have a lot of issues with spirituality. We know that a lot of people do not, it's not even they do not believe, it's they do not accept an understanding that there is a possibility of a reincarnation. Imagine the communication with spirits. A lot of people, this is impossible, or this is really something from the devil. So imagining that time. So here we say that we see that they were being investigated. They were people were really trying to demystify, and sometimes even in brutal ways, the young girls. And here we have in 1888. This is already long time after. So here we have. In 1888, 40 years after the Hydesville incident, the phenomena were being commemorated, and Margaret Fox, remember, Margaret was the older one. She was 12 years old. She was enticed by promises of financial gains from Cardinal Manning and reported to the New York Herald newspaper that the phenomena were fraudulent. So this is like a big thing. I remember many years ago, before I moved to Miami, there was a play in New York City that me and all my friends, we all went to see, and was the Fox Sister. And it was really beautiful the way they made it. Was really entertaining and very loyal to the history. So in that play, for example, it showed that this sister, she started getting very involved with all kinds of issues, especially alcohol, both sisters. But they start getting involved with alcohol, and they started traveling all over the United States, doing performances in big places with hundreds of people. And we understand that mediumship is something sacred, it's something very special. And the spirits, they will not stay with you because you want it. They will stay with you if they want. And we also know if the spirits are superior spirits, they will only help you, guide you, answer your questions if you are doing a good job. If, first of all, if you're doing it for free, if you're helping others, if you are trying to do your moral improvement. But in that time, this was like the first time this was happening. Nobody ever heard it. There were no guidelines. So this family, they really didn't know what to do. And imagine, they were very humble, they were very poor, and this for them was their gift. And you think, wow, I was born with this gift, so I could use it to make money. But then what happened is that when they start doing these performances, many times they did not feel the presence of the spirits. When they started doing the small performances, if I can say like that, with small groups, trying to prove it was real, being tested, being investigated, everything was good. They were being really truth, and the investigators, they couldn't catch any type of lie, they couldn't catch anything in the room that could help them to answer certain things. But when they exploded to fame, things start changing. But now imagine yourself, you are in a big stadium, because they actually did performances in two big stadiums. They were in a big stadium. So the pressure is huge to do a good performance, you know. Imagine hundreds of people, they want to hear what you're going to say, they want to have questions answered in the correct way. And as we know, before Kardec, the questions were very silly. The questions were, and I'm going to get married, and I'm going to get rich, and curiosity too, like what's the name of my mother, what is the job that that person does. So it was like tricky, but they used to do it very well. But in that moment, the spirits are not there. And I read a gigantic bio of them, like 700 pages, thicker than the gospel book. And one of the sisters writes saying that she did not feel the presence of anything. And she spoke to the other sister, I believe was the younger one, telling the older, I don't feel the presence of the spirits. And the older sister saying, create, because they had to create something, they had to perform for that people. Not easy. Anyway, so in this particular performance, it was a disaster and everybody hated. They start throwing things. They wanted their money back. The people who had hired them went in huge debt because they had to return the money. And basically the sisters had to run from the city because it was awful. From that moment on, the newspapers start attacking them stronger and stronger, really confirming that all this movement was a big lie. So they start going through alcohol issues, financial issues, what they didn't have for a long time. And then Margaret, that was got very angry with her sister. They had a huge fight. I don't remember exactly what was about, but they had a huge fight. And Margaret decided to accept money from this cardinal to tell that everything was a big lie and that she was going to be paid for that. And that's what happened. So she said, everything is a lie. And everything I did was never truth, and my sister too. So it was really, really horrible. So the following year, we have that here, as you can read, the sister, she regretted her lack of honesty towards the spiritualistic movement. And then she connected to a lot of people that used to follow her in New York. And then she said to everybody that she lied to the newspaper. So she said, I lied to the newspaper, everything is true. And she was even able to create some physical phenomena, some physical effects happening. But, you know, it says a retraction was published. It appeared in the light of the American newspaper in May 20th, 1889, but it was not strong enough to cause any type of change. The damage was too big. And anything she did from that moment on was not accepted anymore. So it was always considered a lie, and they believed when she was actually telling the truth, they believed it was a lie. So here is just like a little history that shows the pictures of Kate and Margaret, shows their little house, and shows the story of the little cottage. And this cottage was actually transported from Hydesville to the location where it is right now in Lilydale. Is also in New York, State, is in the north of New York. And then my old Spiritist center, InnerLight in New York City, we had 2 excursions that the whole group went to Lily Dell and spent a weekend there. It was really beautiful. We were able to visit all the locations, the houses, and it's a very tiny city. And it is considered the city that has the biggest amount of spiritualistic mediums of the United States. Spiritualistic. They are not spiritists. They do not follow Allan Kardec, but they do believe in the communication with the spirits. They do believe in mediumship. They do believe in the healing that we call passes, the healing passes that we call in Portuguese. But they believe in money. They believe that the charging it's good because they in their understanding that they were born with that gift and it's okay for them to survive of that gift, to pay their bills with that gift. However, in Spiritism or the Spiritist philosophy, that's the one we follow, that was codified by Kardec, the spirits told Kardec that we should never charge any money or any gifts or any type of gain from our abilities. And then the spirits complement saying, you were born with that gift because God gave you. And if you study mediumship, you understand that mediums like me and like many other people, they are people that are really like struggling to improve themselves, have all kinds of issues, many types of issues. And then we beg to the enlightened spirits to be able to reincarnate being a medium, so we will be able to work towards others, helping others. And if you have mediumship, you know mediumship is it's a work, you know. It is hard, it's not easy. It is a blessing because we are improving faster if we know how to use it. But it can be painful, it can be difficult when you don't understand what it is. Like many people are born in families that are not spiritist or they have no idea what it is, like me. Your family thinks you are going crazy. So you go through a lot of issues, but we are never abandoned. We are never alone. God will always guide us and help us somehow. But this understanding is a spiritist understanding, and we got this because of the research of Allan Kardec, that he was able to go through thousands of questions to the spirit. So they are spiritualists and they don't have this understanding, so we cannot judge them. They just don't know it yet. But anyway, visiting Lily Dell is very interesting, and if you ever have an opportunity, please go there. So here we see that the Fox family, we have there is this plaque, and the mentions that the girls they were 9 and 11 years old, and they received the first proof of continuity of life, which was the beginning of modern spiritualism in March 31st, 1848. So it says is the cottage was bought and moved from Hydesville, New York, to Lilydale in New York in May 1916. I believe the house burned. I believe, I don't remember exactly, but I believe their original house was burned, but then they reconstructed a model of the same house again. So now we, 5 minutes to go. Thank you, Claudia. My God, I talk so much. That's why I'm a speaker, guys. I'm a speaker because I can talk forever. Oh my God. Okay. So I will talk until we complete our time, and then maybe next time we continue with some more slides because it's interesting. So now we are going to start talking about the turning tables movement. This is the movement that spread in Europe, was like a crazy madness. People did not have TVs. So whenever you're free, you're going to go to your friend's house and have like a fun session of turning tables where you can ask questions and you can be mesmerized by the answers. So here we have the 1852. The first American missionaries of the modern spiritualism leave to Scotland and England. So this is interesting. The first American missionaries, they go to Scotland and England. So they start talking about this there. Then in 1853, the ship Washington departs from New York to the port of Bremen, taking mediums, books, brochures, and gazettes. This is super cool. So imagine this happening that time. I love the picture. So here we have the press announces the first time the arrival of the movement in Europe in 1853. So this is much before Kardec got involved with this. So this is really the beginning, how it started. And we have also that Delphine Gay de Girardin, she was the one who introduced the phenomena of the turning tables to France. Super, super interesting. So if you can Google Delphine de Girardin. So Mademoiselle Lasserre, very interesting. And here is where we start about Kardec. Woo! I'm excited because actually it's really good. It's good timing. My watch is showing that it's 9:35, so I'm not sure if my watch is correct. I can see time anywhere. But here is exactly where we are going to start talking about Kardec, the codifier. So this portion will coincide with the biography. And the biography, it was a beautiful biography. I'm just going to read you a little tiny bit, just to tell you how it actually starts. So it starts really like a letter, a discussion. They're talking about this, and this letter was written by Henry Sauce. But the little introduction, is just a little letter that I will read for you guys. And next week we start with the biography, and I will probably use the slides. So comes here. It comes like this. It's only 2 pages. So many persons who are interested in Spiritism often express the regret of having only a very imperfect understanding of the biography of Allan Kardec, and of not knowing where to find the information regarding the one who we call the Master. Therefore, it's not to honor Allan Kardec gathered here. Oh my God, my phone doesn't stop. Yes, I know. So this, yeah, if I read, even if it's too short, we are gonna go over the time. But I have to read for you guys this short letter next week, and then we can actually use the slides to be able to continue talking about the biography. Let me try to go back to the system and let me remove it. Yes, I'm back here. Woohoo! That's exciting. And let me bring the girls. Awesome. Welcome back. You guys see how much I talk? Unbelievable. I can
It
talk
was
All
forever.
good.
it
It's
was
good stuff,
great.
Angie. Good stuff.
Love the details, the information, the pictures. Love old
Yeah,
pictures,
no, it's a
historical.
great presentation. Lots of details and really good to start with the book because we are going to talk about who is Kardec, and then we are going to talk about his discussions. But it's what is spiritism. So it's wonderful to be able to know the history, the details, how it started. So this is awesome. So guys. If you are new, we are going up. Where is my book? Socorro. Here, the gospel according to Spiritism. This is our second part of the study. And we will be, if you have the gospel according to Spiritism, we are going to be studying chapter 10. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are the merciful. So, are we all merciful? Are we all good, sweet? Let me take a look in the if there were any comments here. I had lots of messages on my WhatsApp. I have Claudia here talking without stopping. I'm not going to read everything, but thank you, Claudia. I'm happy you were actually commenting here. So I will read a little portions, and then we can comment. I will read the little portion that's actually little messages from Jesus' teachings that his disciples brought to us, and then we can all comment about the comments of Kardec. So to start, I really want to read the little piece in the bottom because it's really connected to what is to be merciful. So the little piece, it's from the Spirit's book, question 886. So the true meaning of a charity, benevolence towards everyone, indulgence towards the imperfections of the others, and forgiveness for offenses. So this was the understanding of charity by Jesus. So you see, it's a much broader understanding of what is charity. Charity is not just giving alms. It's not like a feeling bad and then you give a little money. No, charity is huge. So when you think it's benevolence, indulgence, and forgiveness. So charity in Jesus' understanding is even more difficult than what we imagine. A lot of people say, oh, it's very difficult to be charitable. I don't have money. Charity is not about money. Charity is anything but money. Yes, of course, if you have money and someone is going through a little difficulty or a big difficulty and you can be charitable and help them, yes, then it is a blessing. But charity is not just that. Let me see if I can. Oh, okay. So like this, whoever is going to be talking will be bigger. So that let me read a few portions here that are important. So blessed are the merciful, for they themselves shall receive mercy. This was from Matthew. If you forgive others for the wrongs they have committed against you, your heavenly Father will forgive your sins also. But if you do not forgive others when they have offended you, your heavenly Father will not forgive your sins either. Also in Matthew. Actually, all the portions here are from Matthew, at Jesus from Jesus. The last one. If your brother has sinned against you, go to him and make his wrong known in private. In private. Do not post on Facebook, Instagram, and all kinds of WhatsApp groups like a lot of people do nowadays. between you and him, in private between you and him. If he listened to you, you will have again a brother. Then Peter approached to him and said, Lord, how many times shall I forgive my brother when he has sinned against me? After 7 times, Jesus answered him, I do not tell you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. 70 times 7. This is like big. It's like, whoa, 490 times. And before the girls start commenting, I have one funny story to say. Because Xavier tells a story that one day a lady comes to him and said, Chico, I'm here because I counted. I forgave my husband 490 times and he committed another sin. So it's 491. It's over. I don't need to do it anymore. I'm free. And then Chico was like, God, what am I going to do? Because she actually did what Jesus said. And then Emmanuel appeared, and Emmanuel said, Chico tells her that she has to mathematically forgive him 490 times to each different sin. And I know it seemed in different items. So that's what the Chico said. Chico said, my sister, our brother Emmanuel is explaining that now you have to count and divide the different sins that your husband has committed to forgive him. So it's like, whoa, so it's much bigger than what we imagine. It's not just counting mathematically, but it's really understanding in our minds that we have always to forgive. It does not mean we have to accept the sin. That's a very big difference. We have to forgive the sin, but do not accept, do not be happy. Yeah, that's good. He's betraying me. Woo-hoo. No, this is but you have to forgive the person. You cannot hate the person. You have to understand that person is sick. And yes, if it's something that you can't really work together, then separate. But they always say to us also that separation should be the last resource. Just if it's really not being able to work, then yes, because we might have to come back again with that person. So, girls, let's go. What can we talk? What else can we talk?
Well, I thought it was interesting, just the title alone, where it says, Forgive so that God will forgive you. And I read that and I thought, wow, that sounds conditional. That does not sound like God. And so we know it's not, because if we know the attributes of God, which Genesis in the part 1, chapter 2, talks about the attributes of God, and God is unconditional. So what we have to understand from this title is that what this is alluding to is cause and effect. Because that idea, if I'm someone who says, I won't forgive, I'm never going to forgive that person, God, it's not that God doesn't want to forgive me, but God can't, because I'm holding myself in that lower vibration. I'm, attracting still that, low energy to myself of bitterness, anger, whatever it may be. So it was a good lesson for me to read this and just remember, if I don't understand something, like when I read that title, I thought, boy, that sounds conditional. Then I need to keep looking further and asking for more guidance, and just keep reading the material, basically, to better understand what I'm being taught, or what's the lesson that's being given to me. And I think the other thing is too, when he says, if you go to your brother in private and he listens to you. So I thought, well, what if he doesn't listen to me? And it's that good reminder that we're going to be misunderstood. And in the book Bo Nova, I'll get myself in the middle here. Jesus talked, he said to the disciples, you're going to be misunderstood, and to accept this, because if we don't accept being misunderstood, we delay our progress. When I'm insistent that you must understand me, and I'm going to keep telling you and telling you, or demanding that you understand me, it's not going to work. And so that idea to know that people are not always going to understand us, and we won't always understand them. And yet, I like how you said that, Angie. You kept saying yet. It will come. We'll all get there. So that's just my little bit I wanted to share. Thank you.
That's good. Very
Yeah.
good.
So I
Anything
wanted to,
more?
of course, hold on. Oh, I wanted to show something to Angie. Look, Angie, I don't know if you guys can see, but I started to write in my book. And I was like, I need to show her that. But on that number 4, at the end of that paragraph, there's this really bold sentence, and it says, "One is always anxious, darkly suspicious, and full of bile. The other is calm, full of gentleness and charity." There's this beautiful layout here of the sentence, the way it's the contrast of it, right? And it's almost like this sentence is not full of judgment, not full of you should do this, right? When you read the sentence, we can all relate to something that is dark and full of bile. On the other hand, we can all relate to something, like it says, that is gentle and charity. So it's like this sentence is full of imagery. When I think of imagery, we think of the senses. And then when we think of the senses, we think of the heart, right? And so then you're like, wait a minute, this has to do about forgiveness. But the way he just pours it out to us, and actually, the whole thing, that whole 4, it's always that contrast, this and that, and just the way that it balances. Like the next paragraph, he says, "I will never forgive." Right? And I think Teresa was talking about you're in this limited mindset, but then Jesus comes and says, right? Uh, Forgive 7 times. Sorry, Jesus says to forgive others not 7 times, but 70 times 7. He teaches us that mercy should have no limits, right? So thinking outside the box, stepping out of our comfort zone, and understanding that sometimes when we are forgiven, it's not just one way. Sometimes, right? Sometimes the most beautiful ways of forgiving is those inside the heart. Like I've had to have some of those very difficult encounters where I cannot confront that person. There's no way. But in my heart, every day, it was a constant thing. And I can see the difference in my life as that forgiveness is happening. And I have a vision, if I could keep on saying, I actually have this glass of water, and I was doing a study on water. And so in the study, they pour the water, and it looks so beautiful, nice and clear. And then they poured oil, and then they mix the oil. You know how it looks clumpy because oil, of course, is hydrophobic. So it's never going to mix with the water, right? And so sometimes it's like as we're like that water, everything's great. And then the person comes like that oil. But are we going to keep on mixing, right? Or are we going to just let go, release, let go? And then once we do that, the forgiveness is like all the bad stuff, like the oil, and then we come back and we settle like this. But it's on us. So I don't know if you all have anything, or you can help me with the visual because
Yes.
that.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. And as he mentions here, the number 4 is beautiful because he mentions that the spirits who are a little bit more advanced, they are the ones who are merciful. They are the ones who are calmer. Calmer. They are not calm. They are calmer, and they are able to understand that it's necessary to forgive. Sometimes, people do not need to be religious to have this understanding. Some people, they don't have any religion at all, no beliefs. They are materialistic, but they already told me, I forgive because when I don't forgive, I feel sick. It's like something that makes myself tired, exhausted. I have a headache. And nowadays we have science proving that our negativity, exactly like you mentioned, when we keep all this negativity within ourselves, our cells start being damaged. They start getting
Yes.
sick, and then we will get sick. So it's
So,
beautiful that we have like a science coming a little bit closer to what we already have, this understanding of the vibrational energy. And then a beautiful point also that it comes here is that we always, this is a characteristic of us, because we are not morally elevated yet. We are getting better. We are getting better. I know there must be people like, oh, I'm really good. I am excellent.
I'm in
But
pre-K. I'm in
we
pre-K.
have our moments of a moral elevation. If we really follow us 24/7, we will have everybody, myself, everybody. We will have those moments like, I can't believe that person. And this is natural for the level that we are now. But when we spiritists, we that believe that it's necessary to have our inner transformation, when we see this, we have to, whoops, wait, let me change. I can't keep this energy within me. I am not that. I'm better. I learned to be better, and then that's how we go. Like as I like to say, we fall and then we stand up and continue. We can't fall like, oh, I'm never gonna improve. No, don't. We can't be in the me, like Brazilians like to say, me. Like, no, we have to realize, okay, let's stand up and go again. And one little thing that marked me a lot in the number 4, if you guys are reading the gospel, we are in forgive so that God will forgive you. Number 4, it mentions that to be forgiven, you have to forgive. So whenever we go through something and we committed some horrible thing, and we are like, oh God, please forgive me. I didn't know what was going through me when I did that, when I hurt that person, when I did whatever is the situation. We are quick to do this type of prayer. It's so quick when we're having fun. So we are very quick to do this type of prayer. But if we could hear God asking us, oh, Angie, Teresa, Nora, tell me when was the last time you forgave? And you're like, oh, I always forgive. I always forgive. And we might have improved nowadays, but I'm sure we will have our issues from the past that we still have, like, and we have to work on it. So it's beautiful for us to understand that to ask for something, we really have to be doing it, or at least making the effort of doing it, and many times recognizing we are not there yet. We cannot forgive yet, and it's okay. But we have to understand we will have to forgive. So let's start practicing. I really like a theory that you, whatever is the person, you visualize the person as a sick person, because if you see this person as normal, it's hard to forgive. You're like, I can't believe this person is evil. But if you think the person is sick and in that moment was out of his mind, her mind, then we can start little by little the forgiveness process. But this was very powerful. And next time, I hope to remember. I would love to tell a beautiful story also that talks about forgive to be forgiven. If you don't remember, please remind me. I can't believe 20 minutes was too short.
Told you.
Yes.
Unbelievable. It's exciting. I love it. Oh my God. I I don't know how
I
you
was
all
speed
feel, but
talking.
I am so excited. You have no idea. So
Thank you.
now, please pick up your bottles of water, and we have to end. So we are going to do a final prayer. Today, I will do the final prayer, but the next ones, one of our guests will do the final prayer for us. So thank you, girls. Let's calm down,
Thank
relax. Thank you, all of you that are listening to us. Close your eyes if you can, so we can relax. God, our Mother and Father, our guardian angels, the spiritual entities that protect and enlight the work of Kardec Radio and Mia InnerLight. Thank you so much for being here with us, always guiding, inspiring, helping us. We would like to ask for the protection of our world, so beautiful, but we are still going through the turmoil of the pandemic of COVID-19. We don't have a vaccination yet. The treatments are not 100% sure. So we ask your protection, helping us to continue with this positive vibration surrounding our physical and spiritual bodies. Help us to emanate this love throughout the weekend, the next week, within whatever situation we go, good or bad. Help us to remain calm. Help us to meditate about whatever happened, so we will be able to calm down and vibrate love, vibrate forgiveness, understanding that we are all in this world because we need improvement. So maybe we improved in certain issues that the other person has not yet. But one day we will be all together under your supreme love and a much, much more enlightened spirit than what we are now. But until then, please help us, guide us, and stay with us until next week. Thank you. So be it.
so be it. Thank you, Angie.
Girl,
Thank
I'm
you,
so
Nora.
excited. It's almost like I
Yeah,
got a birthday cake.
Uh,
I'm trying to kiss you.
I know, I can't find it.
It
Okay.
was really good. Thank you so much, all of you that participated. Today was our first day of the new format, so all the next days will be even more exciting. Stay
Yeah.
with us. I wish I could talk forever, but I can't. Thank you so much. God bless all of you. And I will be seeing you again here next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Please share with your friends. And bye,
Okay.
girls. See you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
God bless you all.